We're not being recorded yet? Well, who's in charge of that?
Well, you would be, whoever's in charge of the meeting. Maybe it's me, sorry.
I don't have well, I would do it if I were trained.
Butch is the host.
I'm not the host.
Yeah, Butch, it's gotta be on it's not on mine. It's gotta be on yours, Butch. Lower right-hand corner, 3 dots, should say record.
You're on mute, Butch.
Well, that's a drag. I just did the roll call and
Oh, okay, Peter took it down, I'm sure.
Butch, you are on mute.
Telling me.
Yeah, I'm looking for the, record. Record. Let's see what that does. We're recording.
You're recording.
All right.
all right. Purposes of anyone who is now watching this video, I went through the roll call before this has been recorded. I see Amy McMahon has arrived. Let's see.
And Carol.
And Carol has arrived. So Herb Forgy is not here from the voting members. All right. Okay. So Peter sent out 2-page minutes of the last meeting. Have people had a chance to review it? I guess asking you that question is kind of silly since you all have to mumble back to me. So if anyone has any problems with the minutes, let us know now. Otherwise, I'm going to ask for a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. I'm going to go through the list because I'm conservative that way. So all in favor, Mayor?
Yes.
Butch?
Yes.
Chief?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Herb? Steve?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes, sorry.
Thank you. Liz?
Yes.
Jean Wall?
Yes.
David Singer, yes. Okay, great. Okay, that brings us to the temporary fire station discussion. There have been 2 meetings this week of the temporary fire station committee. So David, I'll let you take over now and summarize. I think many of us have been on these meetings, but for the record, please please feel free to go into some details so that for the record, you're acting as though you're talking to the public who's may have tuned in for the first time.
Sure. No problem. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, we did rank the folks that replied back to our RFP, and we had one company reply back called Vanguard. We ranked the city did rank their portion of this evaluation. The ranking committee ranked the technical portion, and then after that, the pricing was opened, and then we ranked totally according to the pricing. We did find in the technical criteria that we accepted all 4 criterias. We did not accept one criteria, which was the delivery schedule, and their delivery schedule and completion was set for July 7th. After that, we did open up the pricing proposal, which totaled $674,107, which is way higher than our budget that was put together by Neil and Pacheco Ross. So the options that we had as far as recommendations were 1, not to accept the proposal, 2, to accept the proposal, 3, to just sit on it and not make any recommendation, or 4, because Neil had heard back from the IG's office that because we only had one company that sent proposals, that we are allowed to do full clear negotiations with that one company, and there's no issue because there's no other company that we would be favoring, not favoring because of it. So we decided on the Wednesday meeting, the whole committee voted to put forth option 4 to the committee tonight to vote on, which was for Neil to go back to the Vanguard company and negotiate for a better price and a better timeline with respect to what they submitted to us. So that's what we recommend to the full building committee tonight, is that we allow Neil to go back and to negotiate with the Vanguard company.
Okay. Thank you, David. Neil?
Just one correction to that, David. The clarification was sought through the Attorney General's office,
Yes.
not the IG's office.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Just,
that.
that's it. Other than that, it was perfect.
Okay. So those that watched the meeting, the 2 meetings would have had a chance to see the bids. I believe they're public record since they were disclosed at those meetings. Are there any members who didn't see the bids or participate in the 2 subcommittee meetings? Have any questions of David or Neil about that information? Are you wanting to see anything? Or have any questions? Because if I hear none, it seems to me that if we're all up to speed, which is a presumption that can be rebutted by anybody telling me from our committee that they need more information, I would like to get a motion on the floor to move to honor the same motion to make the same motion that was made at the subcommittee meeting last night, and to have a second, and then we'll. So, if as I'm asking this question, somebody wants to weigh in, please raise your hand or go on chat. But otherwise, Jen, you have the minutes from last night. Do you mind making the motion for our committee so that it models the motion from the subcommittee meeting last night?
Yeah, that's fine. Let me just pull it up with the revised version. Yep. I'm just going to read this out loud. Is that all right?
Please. Well, make it in the form of, you want to read it ahead of time to see if it's correct? Or you want to just make it as a motion?
Yeah, I mean, I'll amend. I'm going to, yes, to say, I will read it as a motion, but don't consider it the motion. This is a draft. Motion that we not formally reject the proposal at this time, but rather take no action and authorize the OPM to negotiate with the bidding vendor in concert with Chief Strahan and the design team.
Okay. I think that's fine. The only thing I would add to that, would ask that as we talk about this, we're going to add a deadline because we need to have some information by the next temporary meeting. So maybe we should add to that, if you'll take a friendly amendment, add by February 8th.
No, David.
Yes.
Dave, can I interrupt?
Please.
The other thing that we discussed is that we want the information back before February 4th, because on February 4th, the temporary committee will be receiving the apparatus pricing, and we want to start the whole process over again so we can make a recommendation to you that following Thursday.
Okay.
So we'd like the information back before the 4th.
Okay. Jen, can you read the move? Please read it again, but say, I move to, what you read was fine, and then just add at the end, by February 3rd, 2021. Can you read that again so that it's a motion people can understand?
Absolutely. I move that we not formally reject the proposal this time, but rather that the full fire station committee take no action on the proposal and authorize the OPM to negotiate with the bidding vendor in concert with Chief Strahan and the design team to bring the information back before us, not really before us, back by February 3rd, 2021. Just bring the information back.
Yeah, that's perfect. All right, I need a second.
Second,
Who's that?
Butch.
Thank you, Butch. Okay, discussion.
Mayor,
Of course.
it's probably a nitpick, but I think it would be good to add what we are renegotiating. Unless I did have to leave the meeting last night before you finished your discussion, but I would think that you would want to add renegotiate the price and timeline. But if there's other things, fine, or whatever. I'm saying I'm not dying on that hill, but
I'll respond, and Neil, listen to what I'm going to say. Please. There were a lot of variables that got thrown out at the meeting last night. For example, whether we want a new or used, or whether we want to buy or lease, and a lot of things were thrown around.
Understand.
The impression I was left with, and I'll speak for myself, is that we want Neil to negotiate, understanding himself, being at that meeting and understanding what all the concerns of the committee are, that he can go in many directions, but I think Neil understands intuitively and expressly what it is the committee wants. So in my world, I don't want to handcuff Neil. So I'd rather not add anything, but I certainly don't want, if others think differently, then I would listen to other suggestions.
And can I just ask sort of a process question? Because this is something I'm struggling with. I know we're not supposed to use the chat because of open meeting laws. As someone with what they call nowadays auditory processing issues, I like to see things written, and I would like to paste the amendment in the chat so people could see it. Also for Peter, if that's okay.
My opinion, the open meeting law is it's one-way communication. So if you put in there, I'd like to speak, I will read it, and I know you want to speak. But if I were to respond, what do you want to say, or how's it going, then I'm having a communication outside of the meeting. So it can, I think you're allowed to tell me, all of you are allowed to tell me that you'd like my attention as the chair, or it might be, you might say something to somebody else like that was great, but no responding. That's when you get into trouble. So Peter put something in at 4:01, but I think we're past that it wasn't recording. So I don't see anything else in there at this point. So thank you, Jen, for that. In fact, ironically, as the chair, if someone else sees people in the chat room and I'm not seeing it, bring it to my attention, because I'm looking at the screen. I'm not always looking at the chat. So I could have somebody help me in that regard. So Jen, if you're good with chat and you want to look at it and you say, David, somebody's looking to be heard, you could do that as well. Anybody else?
I was just proposing that I put the motion into the thing that everybody can see on the chat, so that people can see the thing written out.
I don't see a problem with that. It's no different than putting it on the blackboard.
I think as long as folks don't respond back to it. Dave.
Not in the chat. You
Yeah.
can respond in the meeting, but you can, because nobody else can see the chat, so it becomes a private conversation.
Right.
I mean, people on the meeting can see the chat, but people, you know what I mean? It's just not.
Yes.
Okay. Neil, do you have anything to add to the mayor's request, or do you think I summarize it okay for you?
I'm okay, David, the way it was presented and summarized.
Great. Okay, anybody else want to say anything? I can't, so go and chat, because I'm looking and I don't see anything.
Just a quick question.
Yes, David.
Neil, I'm guessing we're gonna whatever you negotiate, it'll obviously be first be kind of verbal, but then you'll get some official document back, right? With the negotiations or the results.
It's my hope, David, that I have something much closer to our budget and timeline in writing from them when we come back to the subcommittee, in early February.
Okay.
Yeah, and also just understand that anything that Neil does, he's not authorized to make any final decisions, because he would be coming back to us to make those decisions. So it's a perfect world. Neil's got a lot of room to move, and he could also use the excuse that he has to go back to the committee, and so it should be a good setup for Neil to do a broad-based negotiation, which is different than what we thought on Monday. So that's a good thing. All right. Anybody else have anything to say? I'm going to take a vote. Otherwise, going once, going twice. Okay. All right. So the motion's been made and seconded. There has been ample time for discussion. Hearing no further discussion, I'm going to take a vote. Whether you say aye means yes, I accept the motion, or no means I do not. Karen.
Did you call me?
I called the mayor.
Oh, yes.
Doing a roll call. Mayor.
Yeah.
Butch.
Butch, yes.
Thank you. Chief.
Yep. Yes.
David.
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Herb, Herb, if you're there, Steve,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Liz? Liz?
Yes. Sorry.
The worst part is we could see you. Liz, Jean,
Yes.
and David Singer, yes. Okay, so it's unanimous. All right, good. So we've gone through the motions. Are there any updates from Neil or Dennis on anything else unrelated to the temporary fire station?
Nothing.
David, just want to confirm that we are also expecting the apparatus bay proposals back on Thursday, February 4th, I believe.
Good. Okay. So the next, yes, I see you, David. Hold on a second. Neil, all right. Anyone else? Okay, David.
Muted, Dave.
You're muted, buddy.
Thank you for mentioning that, Neil. So David, just so the whole building committee knows, we'll go through the same process of picking up the documents on Thursday or Friday, using the temporary meeting to discuss and ask questions and do the ranking if we can that same night. If not, we could have a meeting on Wednesday, and then we'll make the recommendation back to the full committee on the Thursday meeting.
Okay, so we're gonna go through this again the next weekly cycle of these meetings. Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to add? Well, and nobody from the architect's office. Nobody wants to know anything to say. We're good. Okay.
No, I'm good, David. Thank you.
Okay, I can't see you. I can't. Do I see you there, Dennis? No. All right. I hear you though. All right. Before we set the next meeting, I'm going to go in order. So the mayor, you're saying we shouldn't go into executive session. So
That is correct. I don't really have any significant updates for you on the on anything that prior and session. Excuse me.
okay, thank you. The next meeting day will be in 2 weeks for us, for the full committee. So before I ask for a motion to adjourn, is there anything else anyone wants to say? All right, may I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I'm gonna go through a roll call. Here in favor, say aye. Mayor,
Yeah.
Butch,
Aye.
Chief.
Yep, yes, I.
You only get one vote. David. David, yes. Carol,
Aye.
Amy,
Yes.
Herb, Steve,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Liz, Jean,
Yes.
David Singer, yes. Okay, let's see. How long that means? That's a
20
record.
minutes.
All
I
right,
just want-
do your exercises because in 2 weeks the meetings are going to be long again. So you got to break. You got to break tonight. Take advantage of it. Thank you, everybody.
Bye now.
Take care.